Hello, hello, hello. I feel like it's been such a long time since I saw you guys, but welcome, y'all. We are on day 13 of the Grow Your Hair Challenge. That means we have been focusing on our hair, our health, and our beauty for almost 2 weeks. And I'm really excited about today's session. As you are coming on in, can you go ahead and say hello? Say good evening. I'm excited for what our guest speaker. So we have Miss Bianca Modo. She is going to, I know, drop all kinds of nuggets. Look, if you're watching a replay, can you just do me a favor and put hashtag replay on the chat? I am about to share our live stream inside of our group. So I'm really excited about that. And introduce our amazing speaker. So listen, I'm really blessed by all of you guys' progress. And even if you're like, man, I joined this challenge, I haven't had a chance to like really get into anything, I'm here to tell you that there is still time, okay? We still have 2 weeks. And the beautiful thing about it is what our goal for this challenge was to help you to create healthy habits for your hair, for your health, for your body. So that's our ultimate goal. So I'm looking for our video because it is now 8 o'clock. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Oh, what is this? Oh, here we go. There we go. I'm about to share. We have a challenge group going on. All right, here we go. There we go. I found you. Copy link. Okay. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to introduce our amazing speaker, Ms. Bianca Modo. She is on here. So Bianca Modo is a highly credentialed expert in branding, communication, and business strategy. Her agency takes a holistic approach to elevating personal and corporate brands with a rare combination of academic excellence, real-world experience, and a passion for ethical business practices. Bianca has built a reputation for delivering transformative results. And so Bianca is my sister and my friend, and she has done styling and image consulting for me personally. Okay, so she knows what she's talking about. One of the things that I love about Bianca, you just exude confidence wherever you go. It don't matter. I don't care if it like this is you, Bianca. It's like all hell breaking loose. It's a war outside. It's people fighting, and baby, you was strutting your way through. You like, get out my way. Get out my way. I know y'all ain't ready to talk fighting. Get out my way. Get out my way. I am here. I have arrived. And I know I've been telling you that you have a special gift in motivating and activating people to be their best. So I just introduced you, but I'm going to just give you the floor so that you can just encourage and motivate our women and talk about being the confident woman.
Well, thank you so much, Chanel. Hey, everyone. I am super excited to be here.
So I don't know if it's me. Can y'all hear Miss Bianca? It could be me, child. Hey, Alicia, can y'all hear Bianca? I just popped back up because I want to make sure it's not, look, my stuff went a little, my internet has been acting a little wonky. So I just want to make sure y'all can hear her. All right, okay, bet. I'm okay. It's probably just me. The devil is a whole lot. Go ahead, Bianca.
Thank you so much, Chanel. I'm super excited. This is one of my favorite topics. Y'all, I'm gonna try my hardest to stay in the time frame. I hope my sis gave me, I know she gave me like a little bit of time, but it's some things that I really want to talk about. I was not always this confident, but before I get into it, okay, so yes, my name is Bianca Modo. I am the CEO of Modo Global. We do brand strategy and image consulting for thought leaders, service providers, and then of course, I am also the founder and CEO of the Bianca Modo Foundation, where we work to help those, there's two pieces, those that have been trafficked, to help them to move from being a survivor into a thriver. So God reminded me that they were called before the trauma came into their life, before there was some type of abuse, whether it's domestic violence, human trafficking, misuse. there was a calling, right, on their life. And so somebody's got to step in and remind them of who they are called to be. And then, of course, there's a prevention side for girls and young women, 14 to 25, who are, vulnerable to becoming human trafficked or being in domestic violence relationships. And so I'm here to rebuild their confidence, rebuild what it is that God called them to do. But like I said before, I was not always this confident, and this kind of started when I was young. I wrote a book called Unscarred Prayers for Healing that my sister Chanel helped me to publish. And, it's a spiritual guide to overcoming misuse and abuse. And so that already lets you know, some of the things that I have been through. Okay. So relationships, domestic violence, all of these things, right, I have encountered. And it started at a young age. I share in the book that I was molested as a child by multiple family members. And I've also gone through some other things, right? Physical abuse and all of these things, right? And so God had to constantly remind me that, you know what, sis, like, you are my child. I love you. But I didn't always feel like that, right? And we also moved a lot when I was young. So I've been to over 13 different schools. And so you kind of know what happens, when you've been to so many schools. Either you are going to adapt, or you just gonna shy away because you're like, you know what? What's the point of me even, getting to know people? I'm just gonna move on anyways. Well, I chose to adapt to the situations. I chose to step into my authority of who God called me to be. But when I was younger, I was constantly questioning myself. I was constantly, dealing with, self-love issues, wondering if, this man loved me, growing into my teenage years, being susceptible to all of these different things, right? And so I just want to talk about, first of all, the topic is the confident woman, right? And really, I want to talk about, well, first of all, what does it mean to be confident? Okay. And I can't see y'all, so I hope let me know in the comments, what's your definition of confidence? Like, what do you think confidence means? But for me, confidence is believing in yourself, right? Believing in your abilities, believing in your worth, knowing your self-worth, right? And a confident woman embraces, who she is at her core, her unique qualities, and she isn't afraid to be herself, okay? And there's some common misconceptions about confidence, right? Like, if you're confident, that means people will say, well, you know what, you're arrogant, or, I get that so often. People will see me, and because of the way that I carry myself, like Chanel mentioned, it's kind of like, oh, she must be hard to talk to, and she must be uppity and all of these things. And then when people come talk to me, they're like, oh, you're really down to earth, right? I'm sure I've met, if I haven't met you, but I've met a lot of people within Chanel's community, and that's normally what I get, right? And so there is that common misconception that confidence equals arrogance. That's not what that is, okay? Confidence is also not perfection, all right? It's about self-acceptance and growth, okay? No matter who you are, what it is that you've been through, it is about walking in, you know what? God called me, like, we have authority, right, on earth. God called me to be this person. Like, this is who I am. How can I be the best possible version of myself? And so I kind of incorporate that when I'm creating brand strategies, when I'm doing image consulting, all of these different things. I'm pulling in the elements that make you, right? Like standing up for you, but not just in your clothing, but the way that you carry yourself as well, right? And so it's really important for us to have confidence in our personal lives, in our professional lives, because confidence allows us to pursue our dreams, okay? It allows us to advocate for ourselves. It allows us to inspire others, right? If you are sitting at home and you're feeling like, okay, I don't want to do this thing, or I'm not good enough for this thing, imposter syndromes that in all of these different things are setting in, right? There is a strong possibility that it's just the confidence that you need to work on. It's just loving yourself more, standing in that authority. And we're going to talk about it, okay? We're going to talk about three main things that I feel like you need to really be a confident woman. And those three things are going to include setting boundaries, okay? Cultivating self-love, and then building community. All right. So I hope y'all are ready for this. Let me know if you're ready. Give me a 1 in the comments if you're ready, or just say ready in the comments. Okay. And I'm just going to flow through this. There's a lot of things that I want to share. Okay. So let's start with setting and maintaining boundaries. Ooh, 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 ooh. I can feel y'all now, right? All right. So what's the importance of setting boundaries in relationships? And when I say relationships, I'm not just talking about, your spouse and your significant other. I'm talking about friends. I'm talking about your work relationships. I'm talking about the people that are constantly pulling on you, and you don't really have the opportunity to pour into yourself. Okay. Setting boundaries, it protects our time. It protects our energy. It protects our emotional well-being. When I was about 22, I want to say I was about 22. That was probably about the point where, I really started to advocate for myself with anybody. So it didn't matter if you were my parents. It didn't matter if you were my boss. It really didn't matter. Something happened in me, okay? Where I sat there and I was like, you know what? I can't take this anymore. I can't take people constantly being mean to me, pulling on me, treating me any kind of way. And I really this was like the aha moment that I had, right? That, you know what? My time is valuable. My energy is valuable. My emotional well-being is valuable, right? And I have to be intentional about the way people talk to me, the way I allow people to talk to me, the way that I allow people to treat me, the way I allow them to kind of pull on my time, pull on my energy. Because what will happen is, you guys, especially women, Black women, we will just pour, okay? This is something that has just been, this is generational, all right? Black women, women in general, y'all, we have been pouring. We've dealt with systematic racism, we've dealt with discrimination, societal pressures. All of these different things can impact our self-esteem, right? And so we're so used to, we're moms, we're wives. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a CEO and you're running companies, we have people who are under us. We have employees, we have vendors. If you work a 9 to 5, you may have a boss, you have all of these different things, right? Your colleagues. And so we're constantly being pulled on, right? And so something that I have learned to do is to say no to unreasonable requests, okay? Especially if you work a 9 to 5, you constantly find yourself, your boss or somebody, you clocked out and they are still emailing you, texting you on your phone, or if they can't get you on the work phone or the work email, then they're texting your personal cell. And it's like, oh my goodness, this is overwhelming. And so you have to set boundaries. Turn on the do not disturb, okay? Turn your phone off. If you're an entrepreneur, put the phone to the side, okay? Just leave it alone and go do the things that you're supposed to be doing. Focus on your passions, focus on your dreams. Because as far as what I have realized, and as the conversations that I have had with God, a lot of these things are distractions. And most of the time, especially your family members, they really don't know, right? Like, they don't even know that they're distracting you. It's not always intentional, okay? But people will constantly pull on you. And if you don't set the boundaries, If you don't set limits on communication, if you're not prioritizing your self-care, right? What they gonna do? Your mama gonna keep calling you, your cousins gonna keep calling you, your aunties gonna keep calling you. They're gonna ask you, especially if you're really good at something, they're gonna keep asking you to do that thing 1,000,001 times. They're gonna see if you can, do the free work, right? Like there's so many different things, and so you want to make sure that you are saying no to these things, but you're also using I statements. So what is an I statement? So if somebody does something to you, or you're like, hey, you know what, you're trying to set a clear boundary and you want to set it with them. So maybe you're talking to your mom, right? Well, you want to use an I statement and be clear and direct in expressing your boundaries. Look, I just feel like I'm overwhelmed right now and I have so much going on. I have deadlines, I have work deadlines. I have to get my children to you know what I'm saying? Like you're telling them, hey, this is not about you. This is nothing personal. I don't want to offend you, but this is me. Like this is something I am expressing to you, that this is about me and this is what I need. And a lot of times we're afraid to do that. Okay. We're afraid because, we are probably feeling some type of guilt. We're probably feeling, some type of fear of rejection, right? If we say no to people, especially if we're in a relationship and it's just, we're like, hey, I just want to do this one thing. And they're like, you know what? We're scared. They're going to say, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Or you're just afraid of pushback, right? You're like, okay, or what are you gonna say once they say, well, no, you can't, I don't want you to do that. I need you to do this thing. I need you to keep doing this thing. What happens, right? Well, if you regularly start to reinforce your boundaries, I'm telling you, because once you start to do it, once you're like, you know what, and it's okay, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can start young, you can start old, you can whatever you need to do, right? But as long as you start to regularly reinforce those boundaries, and start seeking some support from your loved ones, okay, when you're setting these boundaries, when you're like, look, I need help. My kids are, the summertime, it's summertime, the kids are out of school. They're at home. Maybe you guys can't afford to put them in summer camp, whatever it is. Hey, can I do XYZ? Can you help me, help me cook? When we don't express what it is that we need, when we're not, or, people are just dropping by or doing all of these things, right? When we are not regularly reinforcing our boundaries, it's really, really difficult for people to even know what your boundaries are, right? A lot of times our boundaries are internal. Who's guilty of that, right? Like our boundaries are internal and we haven't even told anybody that, we're feeling some type of way. And so you want to make sure that you are being assertive and you are advocating for yourself, speaking up for yourself, speaking up for your needs and your beliefs, whatever it is. If this is just taking too much time for you, if you can't cook a meal every single day for your husband, if you know what I'm saying? Like the expectations are really, really heavy for women. And it is time that we start to self-advocate. And this is really a big, big key to building that confidence, because the moment that you start doing it and you keep doing it and you stand next to your boundaries, I don't care if it's an adult, I don't care if it's a child, it's, of course, you're going to adjust the way that you talk to each one of those, but you can even set boundaries with your child. I have a 6-year-old son, and I talk to him. I let him know exactly how I'm feeling. Brendan, you know what? Mommy is tired, okay? And I love you, but I cannot do this right now. Or when we're getting out the door, and I'm trying to get his stuff together, my baby will ask me 30,000 questions, and I'm trying to answer all of his questions as we're getting out the door, right? And so I stopped and was like, Brendan, Mommy loves you so much, but when you ask me 30 million questions, I get distracted and I can't get us out the door. You want to go to the park, don't you? You want to, you want to go to the museum, right? I can't get us out the door if you're asking me 30 million questions. that's how you're adjusting it, for your children, for your husband, if it's something that you need from your husband, or if it's, setting and maintaining those boundaries. If they're just stressing you out, if it's a significant other that's stressing you out, you have to self-advocate for yourself, because people will continuously walk all over you. Okay. Let me make sure I'm on that, because I want to move to the next one. I just want to make sure that I've covered anything. And if you have any questions, please just hold them, put them in the comments, and I'll pull them up, or Chanel will pull them up at the end, and I will make sure that I am answering all of your questions. Okay. But the key thing is to remember, as we're talking about setting and maintaining boundaries, we said using the I statements, right? Being clear and direct in expressing your boundaries, saying exactly what it is that you need from that person, from the situation, your expectations, right? And then continuously, regularly enforcing your boundaries, and reinforcing your boundaries, and making sure that you are seeking that support from your loved ones. You're speaking up for yourself and your needs. Okay. Let's talk about cultivating self-love and leaving toxic relationships. I literally, like I said, wrote this book, and you get to see, it's called Unscarred Prayers for Healing. If you want to grab it, it's on Amazon. But I have had my fair share of toxic relationships. Okay. And one of the things that I realized that even put me in the situations in the first place was not having enough self-love, and not really understanding how self-love impacts building your confidence, right? So self-love means, of course, we say it, but let me just tell you, like, self-love is literally accepting and appreciating yourself. Okay. Your flaws and all right. It is the foundation for the healthy relationships and personal growth. Okay. Having self-love, that means I love the skin that I'm in. Y'all, I used to hate my nose. Like, we talking transparency. I'll be transparent. I used to hate my nose. Like, for years, I was like, I'm going to get a nose job. I modeled for a while, and I wanted to do music. And I think I had somebody literally ask me, one of my singing coach at the time, he was trying to prepare me for interviews, and he one of the questions he asked, he was like, well, are you willing to change your nose, like, because somebody else might ask me that. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to change my nose. I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I like my nose. I think I started to look at women in, Africa and their natural beauty. And I was like, oh, when we don't see people that look like us, when we don't see people who, are doing the same things that we're doing, it's really hard for us to relate, right? And so maybe it's your hair. You don't like the way we're going to grow your hair challenge, right? Well, you don't really like the length of your hair. You don't like you want it permed, or it was permed, and now it's not as healthy as it was because you put a perm in it, because you put a relaxer in it. Now you're trying to grow your hair back out. Maybe you don't have edges. We're working on getting our edges back. Whatever it is that you don't love about yourself, okay, I'm going to say not like, whatever it is that you don't love about yourself, think about that thing, okay? Think about whatever it is. And now you want to know what I want you to think about now? Think about that God made you exactly like that. Exactly. He created your nose, your eyes, your lips, your hair, and the things that you can't change, okay? The things that, and when I say can't change, meaning you may not have the money to change it, or it's just one of those, like vitiligo, like it's a skin condition. It's something that is just natural, right? You want to just really think about, why God made me perfect? Like, I was perfect. I was formed in the womb. When I was formed in the womb, he knew me. Okay. He knew me in the womb. So he knew every flaw that I would have. He knew every mistake that I would make. Right. And so reminding ourselves that, you know what? I am beautiful. Like, God made me this way. I have to be beautiful. Like there's no other explanation. And some of you, you're dealing with, you know what? Maybe you were bullied when you were younger. Maybe your parents, you know, some people, it's like I've seen this. I've had friends that I have watched their mothers like tear them down. And I'm just like, why are you allowing them to talk to you like that? But it's because of that dynamic, right? It's because we're so used to hearing, you know what, those are your parents, right? Like you just deal with whatever it is that your parents, because they're your parents. But that's why we talked about boundaries first. And that's why in this self-love, really starting to think about what is the root of why there is a self-love issue in the first place. If there's something that you don't like about yourself, when was the first moment that you even realized that you didn't like this thing about yourself? When did you first realize you didn't like your nose? Did somebody say something to you? The color of your skin. That's a good one. That happens so often, right? Where you're from, your religious background, whatever it is. Think about that first time somebody said something to you about that thing that is keeping you from self-love, right? And address it. Go back to that moment. Go back to that exact moment in time. If somebody told you that you were ugly, if someone told you that you were too dark, or you were too light skinned, you're mixed, and you're black, you're white, you're this, you're that. Think about that and say, oh, you know what? Answer as the adult you, or answer as the current you. I'm good. Like, wait. I love me. Like, I'm constantly making sure that I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, girl, I love you. Like, you've been through some stuff. Like, I love you. You want to make sure that you're honest with yourself about where these things are coming from. Okay, this is truly self-love is that foundation. Now, I said cultivating self-love and leaving toxic relationships. So now that we have established, okay, well, where did this thing come from? All right, now if you're in a relationship or you've been dealing with relationships that are toxic, right? What is it about you that is attracting these people? Okay, well, for us, if you are kingdom, right, a lot of us are kingdom, we're just going to attract all of the people. Okay, sometimes that's just what it is, but other times it is people that are preying on you, and they can sense that you don't love yourself. They can sense there's a part of you that questions yourself, that questions your worth. And so if you feel like, man, this person, I feel like I just dated this person and the last person was treating me like that. Like, why is the same person? It feels like it's the same person. It's because there's something on the inside of you that needs to be worked out. Okay. There's something inside of you that's like, man, this toxic relationship, I love this. I'm loving on this. Right. But what are the signs that you're even in the toxic relationship, right? Like, you've got to start identifying where you are in your life, what it is that you have been going through, right? Well, if you're being constantly criticized, and remember, when I say relationships, I'm not just talking about personal, like dating relationships, okay? I'm talking about any type of relationship, friendships, dating relationships, marriage relationships, family dynamics, right? Really, we're really identifying what is going on within us, okay? So if you are constantly being criticized, all right, if you are constantly being manipulated, if they are disrespecting you, if they are talking down to you, if they are making you feel drained or anxious, if you just feel unhappy, like every time you get with this person, or now you started to avoid the person, right? Like if you made it out, you're starting to avoid the person, and they're calling you, and you're like, I don't want to talk to this person. Like, it's too much, right? You are starting to identify that this relationship is toxic. And so when you identify if this relationship is toxic for you, then it's time to realize, can you detach? Like, or figure out, can you detach completely? So if you're in a relationship, you're dating someone, and all of these things are going on, run quickly. Okay. run quickly. All right. But when it's your parents, it's hard. it's hard, right? When you're dealing with people in your life that they're just there, they're family members, right? And they disrespect you and they're always putting you down. You started a business, and you're trying to figure out why nobody is supporting you. It just feels so draining to talk to your family members, to share your goals, right? You are in toxic relationships, and it's time to figure out, do you need to talk to this person on a regular basis? I know when it's your parents, it's really, really hard, right? It's really hard. But honestly, if you can't move forward, if there's that feeling, if you feel drained, if you're feeling anxious, it's just negative every time that you're talking to them, then you've got to separate yourself from that, because it is subconsciously, it's showing up in your work, it's showing up in your dating, it's showing up in your life every single day, and you're wondering, man, why don't I have the confidence? It's because you're allowing people into your space to continuously disrespect you. You're allowing people in your space who constantly criticize you every time you're trying to launch a product, you're launching a business, and they're telling you you can't do that. You're not going to do that. I remember I moved to Paris. I lived in Paris for a year, and I was moving to get my master's. And someone in my family looked like in my face when I said that I was going to Paris. I mean, I was with other family members, and they looked at me and said, "You can't do that. You're not doing," like I was lying. Like, you can't do that. You're not going to do that. They looked me in my face and told me that. And I was kind of taken aback. I was like, well, why can't I do that? Like, they didn't have a valid reason. There was no reason. It was just, how you going to do that? You can't do that. Think about those people when you're launching your businesses, when you're trying to grow and change, and you're trying to change the people that you're dating. And you've just got people in your family who, or whoever it is that are around you, and they're nagging you, and they're criticizing you, and they're draining you, right? It's time to let go of those toxic relationships, okay? And so I want to encourage you to prioritize your well-being. I want to encourage you to say, you know what? It's time to start making some difficult decisions in my relationships, and really get to the root of why it is that I feel like I don't love myself, or I'm attracting people and I'm allowing them to stay. It's the difference between attracting and then letting them stay in your life. Why am I letting them stay, right? And then finally, you know, talking about building that safe space, this leads into my next point, building safe spaces and community, okay? I have always been an advocate of building up community, building up people that love you, right? Especially because I work in the space of abuse, domestic abuse, trafficking, right? And when I go back and I do the research and I watch the movies, I watch the Epstein series. If you guys want to really kind of dive into what it looks like, what self-love looks like, not having self-love, not having confidence, go watch the Epstein series, where the young girls are talking about why they even got into the relationships that they go, why they even got into the situations that they got into with Epstein's. A lot of them were having home issues. They didn't love themselves. Their parents weren't around. Their friends were telling them that, hey, I know this person that, you know, they pay to give massages, right? So once you have identified those toxic people, all of these toxic people that are around you, and you're like, okay, I've got to separate myself from these toxic people. Now it's time to surround yourself with supportive friends and family, okay? As much as we love our friends and our family, everybody can't go where you're going, all right? Everyone can't go where you are going, guys. I'm sorry to tell you, to be the person to let you know. I know you guys want to take all of your family. You just like, you know what, everybody's going with me. But when they devalue you, when they put you down, it's a sign. It's a sign that they cannot go with you. You are elevating, right? You're elevating. And so once you've identified that and you're like, okay, I've got to leave this toxic relationships. I've got to set boundaries. I have to make time for myself and say, I can't have these people in my life. Go find yourself the friends and the family that love you. So the family that's like got your back and they're not those are the people that you want to hang with. The friends that are just showing up for you, showing up on your webinars. If you're an entrepreneur, if they're showing up to your webinars, if they're checking in on you. Yes, we know that we're getting older. We're all, at the age where, yes, friends may not be able to check on you every single day, guys, every single week, okay? But there are, you know the signs, okay? There are those friends that, and I have my sisters, okay? Like I have sisters, not just Chanel, not just Lindsay, but I have just I have built up a community of people who love me. And I identify those people by being confident when I'm going out, when I'm networking, when I'm meeting people. What is the song? Something, no new friends. I don't believe in that. I am constantly saying, I want to meet new people. I want to get to know new people. I want to get to know like-minded individuals, whether it's in my industry, whether it's a passion project. It's just something that I want to do for fun. Maybe you like doing 5K runs. And you want to meet more people who like to do things like that, right? You want to build up your confidence and rebuild your confidence, rebuild the healing that needs to take place to build up that confidence. You want to do that. You want to surround yourself with people who support you. And then you want to make sure that you are practicing self-care and pursuing the activities that bring you joy, right? If you're feeling down and you're feeling like, man, I don't really love myself. It's a lot going on in my life. You want to make sure, you know what? I need to fill this time with things that I like to do. I like to bake. I like to cook whenever I'm feeling down. That's normally my go-to. Sometimes I might paint, right? Or I'll just go hang out with my friends and just have a good time and fellowship with my friends, okay? And then finally, making sure that you are seeking that therapy and the counseling that you need, so that you're able to process emotions, so you're able to develop the coping skills once you start that healing process. Because what's going to happen is things are going to start coming up. Once you remember, I was like, go back to the first time that somebody told you whatever it was that you don't like about yourself. When was that first time? When was the first time that you experienced that, right? Once that starts to come up, you're going to want to deal with it. You don't want to sweep things under the rug, okay? You don't want to keep sweeping things under the rug. These are like my core, like y'all, these are like my foundational principles to building your confidence, to walking in a room, being able to walk into any room, right? Because I'm like, oh, I love me. Like I love me, and I'm constantly seeking God about the things that He wants to highlight in my life, that He wants to highlight in my life, and the skills and the anointings and the gifts that He wants me to share with other people. So when you're asking God and you're seeking God and you are seeking what it is that you're supposed to be sharing and the passions that you're supposed to be sharing with other people, right? You won't have the time to sit around and mope and feel sorry for yourself. You are going to be like, oh no, like you get a day, like give yourself 24 hours and say, you know what? I'm going to give myself some time, but then I'm going to get back up and I'm going to start reaching out to people who actually love me. I'm going to reach out to people who are like-minded and who are confident. You want to get around other confident women, right? Because what happens if you're not confident and then you linking up with other people who aren't confident, right? Well, now everybody's just messy. Everybody's messy. Everybody is like, man, I don't like myself and I don't like my hair. You don't like your hair, man. I don't like my hair either, man. I just feel versus somebody, I don't like my hair and I don't like my nose. Girl, your nose is beautiful, right? Your hair is banging, okay? You want to be that woman. I challenge every single one of you in here and those that are watching the replay, that when you start to go out, you want to build some confidence, go love on somebody else. Go out there and build the confidence of somebody else, of another woman, okay? When you go to the mall, when you go to the store, the grocery store, if you see a woman and she has on a cute dress, that dress is banging on you. You look good, okay? Really start to build up the confidence in others, because as you build up the confidence in others, you're going to start to build up the confidence in yourself as well, okay? So I'm going to summarize. I'm going to give some time to make sure I have, if anybody wants to ask some questions, but just reiterating, right, what we said, okay? We're setting boundaries. So moving forward after today, you've watched this video, we're setting boundaries, okay? We're setting the boundaries. We're making sure that people know that, hey, this is not going to fly anymore. You can't talk to me any kind of way anymore. We are going to be assertive in those boundaries, okay? And then we're going to start learning how to handle pushback, how to maintain those boundaries when, when people are talking to us, okay? We also want to make sure that we are building up our self-love, all right? Making sure that we're identifying why we don't love ourselves. When was the first time that we realized we didn't love something about ourselves, and going in and attacking that thing and identifying that thing and dealing with that thing, and then making sure that we have a supportive community of friends and family, of a counselor, of therapy, deliverance if you feel that you need it, right? But just making sure that at the end of the day that we feel safe. That at the end of the day, being confident means that you feel safe, right? That you feel confident enough to walk into any room, because if you don't have these foundations and you're trying to be an entrepreneur, even if you're trying to get promoted, if you have a 9 to 5 and you're like, I'm trying to figure out why I can't get promoted. I'm trying to figure out what it is about me that is not allowing or is not getting me the promotion, that's not getting me the clients. Like, what's going on? These are some of the things that I really want you to start thinking about. And I got some free stuff. I got free things for you, and I'll let you know. But I'm going to see if we have any questions. If Chanel wants to come back and to see.
Hey, this was so good. And you really hit on so much. And one of the reasons why I wanted you to speak was because a lot of times, like, it doesn't matter what kind of hair you wear, if you're not confident, all of that goes out the window. And so while this challenge is about growing your hair, it's also about making sure that you are whole from the inside out, from top to bottom. And hair is just an accessory. If you can't put your hair on and still think that you're gonna thrive because you have low self-esteem or you're not confident. And that's really what I wanted to say. And also, like, you don't have to be confident. How do I say this? Like, confidence is built over time. So just because Bianca is sharing this stuff right now, don't think like, okay, well, I heard this, now I'm gonna be confident. Oh man, I feel not confident right now. It's like, take your time to build that confidence up.
Yes, it's a process.
It's a process. And you know what? I struggle with confidence in a lot of different areas. And I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I think you touched on it. Believe what people say about you. The good stuff is true.
The good stuff. There we go.
Yes. Believe the good things that people say about you. I think sometimes we don't believe when people say, oh my goodness, your hair is so nice. Well, but your life's one person told you, look, your hair was nappy or ugly. But then you got 30 people saying, oh, your hair is so nice. Oh, wow. Or, you had that one boy from the 5th grade that said you was ugly. So now you internalize that. But now you 32 and you've been getting told, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. You had one or some family members who said, oh, you too dark. But Now in 2024, people are saying, oh my goodness, I love your complexion. That's how you can really tap in and I feel like really embody the confidence is because sometimes we'll take one thing that someone said or did in the past and we want to internalize that thing and not believe the truth. I want you, if y'all, I see there's I just want y'all to do one thing for me, please. I want you to write in comment one lie that you've been believing in about yourself or something that you've been struggling with. And maybe you or something that you used to that now you've embraced. I'm gonna tell y'all mine, right? I hated my eyes. They used to call me bug-eyed. They tell me my eyes was big. They used to say all these things about my eyes. And so I was just like, oh, I just really thought I was just horribly ugly. It was ridiculous. When in fact, y'all, like my eyes, the shape of them actually give me very what I learned was one guy told me, I said something about my eyes. He was like, I like your eyes. I was like, why? You're not gonna tell they're ugly. He was like, no, they give you a very youthful look. Like you look young, you look bright-eyed and inviting. I said, I never thought about that. So then I start playing up my eyes, like making, having lashes and putting eyeshadow. And I said, wait, this is a compliment? Okay, so Alicia says she doesn't like her weight, right? Anybody else wanna share? Another thing I didn't like, Bianca, was I didn't like my lips. Because I heard you talk about your nose. I just call them as a kid, I was like, oh, like you got a booger on your lip. They call me booger lip. But then when I got older, it was one of the things that men found one of the most striking parts.
Yes.
We're trying to calm my lip, not smiling like this.
And it happens. It's subconscious. Like it turns subconscious, girl. Yes. So somebody like don't like your teeth, and so you'll see people that when they smile, like they won't smile, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, why you won't? What's wrong? And they're like, somebody said I didn't have. And I'm like, girl, your smile is beautiful.
Alicia said she's more confident when she's in a certain way, and then she said, "Thank you, Alicia, for saying I have beautiful eyes and lips." I'm just sharing those things with you guys because even people that people think are pretty or whatever your perception, that's we all have something that we had to like decide. We have to make a decision. And let me say, I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna pass it on over back to Bianca. We can see someone that maybe the world may not consider to be attractive, but let me tell you something: confidence. Or you'll see someone maybe like Alicia, you may say you feel more confident in a certain way, or you might see like a plus size woman and she will be murdering. I've seen plus size women murder crop tops. Like, I'm like, they come in like, you be like, yes, honey. I think that I probably wouldn't even because I don't have the confidence and I'm over here worried about my little side roll and they do not care and they are killing and just owning the room and they're getting compliments and they're shifting the energy because of confidence. I just want to say that's all I want to add. But someone said that let's talk about the weight, and then another Natasha said she didn't like her sparse eyebrows. So I'll let you kind of piggyback off that, but I just want to say that.
Yeah. And so remember I said earlier, and I was like, you know what? The things that you can't change. Okay. So when it comes to your weight, right, that we do have control over our weight. Okay. That is something that we have control over. Now you may be built a certain way, right? But if you're like, I want to tone myself up. Or we've had babies, right? Like a lot of us have had kids and what Cat Williams say was like, look what you did to me. Like, look, Alicia said facts. Like, and our bodies have changed. And so it is being honest about, okay, look, I used to look like this. I used to I feel like I used to be attractive, but you're a mother now, right? Like you have birth children, okay? And so if you want to tone, and I know I missed Sarah's session. I know I'm sure it's on a replay, but if you want to get toned, then you have to be intentional. Like you have to be intentional about, okay, you know what? I don't like this thing about me. And I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna do what I can. Now, for the things like your lips and your nose, and someone said, Natasha said, your sparse eyebrows. Okay, well, first of all, let me address that. Go ahead and start putting that her beauty regimen on your eyebrows and just brush them, baby. Listen, just go ahead and put them on. You didn't even know that, did you? Just go ahead and start to put them on there, and it will help your eyebrows to grow. Baby, folks have keep taking off my eyebrows. And every time they take off my eyebrows, I just go pull out my Her Beauty Regimen oil and I just brush them, and they just grow back real quick. Like and then I can go and I get them threaded, and so just to make sure that they're still thick. But there are just those things, right? That if we want to change it, then let's be intentional and figure out how we can change it. But if we can't change it, then we got to figure out, you know what? God loves me, like he made me this way. I have to remind myself. And then like I said, I got people around like, girl, you never wrong your nose. Like, girl, you was fine. Like you, and that helps me because I'm like, oh, well, if y'all don't feel like I don't need to do anything. I don't need to change my lips. I don't need to change my nose. Cause no, ma'am, your eyes and your lips is fine, girl. So it's like, you have to keep those people around you, right? Like if you had friends, Chanel, that was like, oh yeah, girl, your lips, that you trusted, and I don't know about your lips, girl, and your eyes, you would be actively trying to change that thing. That's why I said you got to change the people that are around you. And really know, what you can change, what you should be changing, what you should focus on changing, and what's really not that important, and go find more passions, and answer that about yourself. And, like I said, finding whatever it was and finding the time and whoever said what and forgive them. It was so much I wanted to go through, but I didn't have enough time. But really be intentional about forgiving the people that have said these things to you, whether you were a child, whether you were an adult, whatever it is, so that you can go back and say, I love me. Like, I love me the way that I am. And if I can fix it, I'm going to fix it. If it's just something that I need to fix, but I'm going to be intentional about showing up and being confident. And I'm telling y'all, please, starting tomorrow, you can do it today if you leave the house, but just start complimenting people. Like, just start complimenting when you see people. Like, that's my hack. Like, and it comes back. I promise you, it comes back to me. The more that I am complimenting other people and I am smiling at people and doing all of these things, but they do the same. Like, people will compliment me and maybe in another space. So that whatever you're putting out, you're definitely going to get that back. So you just want to be mindful of how you're treating other people as well. Dr. Stevie said, I used to not like my weight. I stand at 5.5 feet. Yeah, that weight, it's okay. Listen, we done had kids at this age. If you've had kids, kids are not. We're getting older. Our bodies change. I know all of us be like, oh, I miss my high school body. I miss my church. Now you miss your track body. It's over. Yeah. It's over, y'all.
But I'm getting mine back. Okay, I'm getting mine back. But I want to say this, Bianca, it's not for anybody else. I'm not getting my body together for anybody else. I'm doing it for me. Why? Because I have 4 very active kids and they want to be athletes, and baby, what they not finna do is think they can buck up on their mama. I still will beat you in a race. I can hang. No. So I am like, no, I need some, it's a value of mine. It's a value of mine for overall wellness, health and wellness. That's the value. And I'm not putting anybody else down because maybe you're not in the space mentally or physically where that's a top priority. But for me, that's a priority. So, but if it was just about losing weight, for me, I could put that wouldn't be enough. I would be just put a shaper on and, keep it moving. But that's like that. Y'all don't get me talking about wellness, because as women, especially if you're called to lead other women, I need to be at a certain level mentally, spiritually, physically. Because if I'm out of breath, I just had a speaking engagement the other day, and if I'm out of breath and I'm tired and woe out, and then I can't operate how God needs me to operate. So that's why I said that. But I will say this though. The whole weight thing. In the meantime, y'all need to book a call with Bianca. Let her like book you a call with a stylist, an image consultant. That's what helped me, because I do have a small issue in my midsection, because I got diagnosed with diastasis recti, so my stomach pokes out. But you probably wouldn't know if you look at me, because I know how to dress for my body type. And while I'm working on those things, I'm going to dress in clothing that makes me feel confident. And I think that's another area where we miss out. Sometimes we want to wear the trendy stuff, right?
Yes.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. I can't wear the fashion of outfits. They don't fit my body type. I'm going to look like a rolled up sausage, a skinny sausage. So I just wanted to say that, ladies, like, find classic fit items. I'm sure Bianca can talk about that too. Find classic fit items that help you feel good. I'm gonna give y'all my little confident woman cheat code for me. This is me. This is my cheat code. Okay. Hair always gonna be done. Period. Non-negotiable. And that's why I want to help us grow our edges and have our hair. 2, non-negotiable. Either lash extensions or lashes. 3, eyebrows done. Okay. These are non-negotiables. Okay. 4, nails, toes, non-negotiables. Okay. 5, really good skin routine. I have not a stitch of makeup on at all right now. Like, I have no makeup on. I didn't have time. I usually put some on for y'all. I didn't have no makeup on. Then the other thing, overall fitness, walking every day. And then the last, keeping classic pieces that don't let me get to. Yeah, I do not like fast fashion. Okay. Because fast fashion, I feel like you could talk about this. B, we gotta come back here and have a whole talk about how we out here. Look, I'm gonna stop talking. Fast fashion. And if you are gonna get fast fashion, and we talking about the Sheins, we talking about, I know the Fashion Novas, you need to have an eye for high quality stuff that's not gonna, for the materials that's not gonna fade. Because let me tell you what's happening. We are getting these fast fashions. They're thin. They're not complimented. They're not sucking in what they got to suck in. The buttons are gaping, so you're looking unkept.
Yes.
And all you had to do was probably spend or look or search for pieces that didn't cling to your body. Another thing, like, last thing, I buy clothes. I have an assortment of clothes of when I'm feeling sexy and I want to show off curves. And I didn't get bloated the night before, so I'm feeling confident. And then I have like balloon dresses or dresses that are open out to the midsection that I have, that if I'm on my cycle, if I'm bloated or I'm not feeling good, I could throw one of those outfits on. And usually if I do feel good, I can belt it. Like, I can transform the outfit to fit my mood so that I always have something to wear. So I ain't over here like, I look fat in this. Listen, I hope y'all caught that. I don't know. I'm done. Go ahead.
No, it's good. That's really good. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. And I'm like, man, I really don't have, like, we only have but so much time. And I saw that Alicia said she started wearing a lot of prints. So just getting out there and trying new things. If it don't fit, listen, okay, first things first. If you're going to hire me as your image consultant, your feelings might get hurt because I'm going to go in your closet and I'm going to take out some things that you said that you was going to wear when you lost that weight that you had in college, and it's 15, 20 years later, and those outfits are still in there. I'm going to take them out. Okay. They're going to go. You want to make sure that you have the proper fit of clothing. You want to make sure that the colors that you are wearing bring out your skin, your natural skin colors. Your hairstyles, you can try different hairstyles. If you've had the same hairstyle since 1972, I don't know, some of us ain't that old, but but whatever, if you've had the same hairstyle and you're like yes, that'll definitely boost your confidence, like trying something new. Especially, okay, now if you're married, and I can talk to the married ladies real quick, especially if you are married, just trying new things, trying new outfits, just something that might hug the curves, proper, yes, Natasha, proper undergarments, getting yourself, getting yourself resized for your bras if you feel like your bras don't fit the way that they used to fit. Making sure that you are wearing bras, if you need one. Everybody don't need one. I need one. Making sure, right? Nicole said, yes, my everyday ponytail. Yes, you got to switch it up. And what happens is if people see you the same way, for so long at your job, especially if you're wondering why you haven't got a promotion, it's because you ain't switched it up. It's because they haven't seen you as a leader. I'm telling you, like, this is the thing. They don't see you in that executive role. So start looking at the executives at your job. How are the leaders? How are they showing up? What are they looking like? What events are they showing up to? Okay. If you just showing up and you don't care, and you don't put no lipstick on, and you just, whatever, right? Same thing if you're an entrepreneur. Okay. And for me, I work with, I'm all about premium clients and attracting premium clients. And if you want premium clients, then you've got to show up a different way. Like, there's a different way that you have to show up when you are on these calls, when you're doing these master classes and webinars. Like, you got to put some lipstick on. You got to do your eyebrows. You have to there's just certain industries like real estate. If any type of consultant or high ticket, service provider, right? I'm telling you, try something different. Put on a nice fitted suit. Wear a nice dress. You can go, and it doesn't have to be super expensive. You can still, I still shop at TJ Maxx and Ross and Burlington, but you do want to know, like Chanel said, like the types of materials, the types of pieces that you're looking for. So you just want to make sure that you're not going in there and we leaving what did you say? I don't even shop on it. The Sheen and the Temu, whatever it is.
So look, Shein and Temu, they have their place. Okay, so y'all don't gotta throw away your Shein because I got some Shein stuff. But you need to know, like, once the little lint balls start rolling up and the colors start fading, y'all, that dress is now a house dress.
Yes.
Once it shrunk, to the other side, that's not something that you want to wear out in public because you're not going to feel confident. And a lot of y'all are amazing. Y'all are businesswomen, entrepreneurs. Y'all are bosses. You never know when opportunity is going to come to you. And if you are not feeling confident about yourself, you may miss out on some money, some friendships, some relationships. That's all.
Even the airport, going to the airport.
About that.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the thing, right? Because think about it. If you are an entrepreneur, who you gonna meet at the airport? Like, let's be real. It's money at the airport. Okay, it is the money at the airport. And I'm not telling you that when you go to the airport that you got to be suited up, but you can wear a nice, comfortable, cute outfit. I'm saying you don't have to be there in your rollers and in your slippers. You got out the car with your slippers and your rollers and your bonnet and everything. Everybody is different, but I'm just saying, just think about the opportunities that can come to you by being confident and by stepping into your authority, your image authority, and how you're presenting yourself physically, the way that you're talking to people. Like, it all goes together. Your appearance, your behavior, your communication, all of this is a part of image consulting. But I just wanted to hit those cores, like you said. I just wanted to get to at the bare minimum. Like, I love Chanel's list. yep, I agree with all of what she put on the list. Having great skin, as you know, that is definitely a confidence booster. Sometimes you just need a glow. It's hot outside. I get it. It's so much going on, but you just want to make sure that you care. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I finally found the comments, y'all.
Yeah, they're kind of hard. They're kind of hard to find, but yeah, y'all. I know we've been on here longer than we normally have been, but this is just such a great conversation. And Bianca, thank you for your time. I want to honor it. If you guys have any questions, take a minute to, or any just comments or thoughts, please put them in the comments. And I'm glad you were honest about, just some of the things that you have struggled with, and we all have to. I bet you if we were to go holler at Beyonce, she gonna tell you what she struggled with too. She's gonna have something. You're gonna be like, what?
Yep.
You?
Yep. Winnie Harlow is probably my go-to, the supermodel with Lago. I just remember when she was on America's Next Top Model, baby, and when she was telling how people used to make fun of her, and baby, Winnie is winning now. Like, she embraced her, her skin condition, and she is fine. So when you start to embrace those things about yourself, and even start to highlight some of those things that other people might have made fun of when you were little, baby, you just never know where God wants to take you when you start to do this. I do want to mention that. She's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking. Oh, y'all are welcome. You're so welcome.
Well, I think we have done our job, Bianca. Thank you so much for talking about the confident woman. Listen, if you want confidence in growing your hair and edges back, y'all go and get you some Her Beauty Regimen. The Gray Hair Challenge is sponsored by Her Beauty Regimen, Refreshed Hair and Growth Oil. And you will see results, especially if you are wearing wigs, and stitches. If you got any area that needs touching up, if you want to soothe your scalp, if you want to do a deep treatment, there's so many uses for the hair and scalp growth oils, and I highly encourage you guys to participate. So, all right, well, thanks guys so much. Head over to the Facebook group, Gray Your Hair Challenge Facebook group. Let us know if you were able to take your vitamins, work out, do anything productive today, and we will see you guys tomorrow. We have a session tomorrow. I forgot who we got. Let's see. We got. I think it is the fitness session tomorrow. So we'll be having a great conversation. Does the hair growth oil make your hair greasy? No, it doesn't. It's very light. And what would you say, Bianca? Because you use it. You can.
I use it. I just put it on my look. Y'all know I got my wig on right now. So I just put the oil on right before. But it's definitely light. What I do, I kind of have a mixed condition spray, so I put that on, and it's like a seal. Like, the oil helps to like seal for me, like that. I have real dry. Like, I got to make sure my hair is moisturized, so it helps to seal for me. But I told y'all, it's good. Don't forget eyebrows too. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, make sure, look, if you want the hair to grow in a place, you're gonna put it there. So just be mindful of where you put the oil, because your hair gonna grow.
It will grow. Lindsay got to make me a video because she had to stop putting some on because she had them braids and she wanted them to last a little bit longer. So I just thought that was funny. All right. Well, thank y'all so much. See y'all next time. Bye.